too hard. I'm not smart enough to do pragmatism. Duty, at least. Duty is approachable, but purse and something the cleaning, the classical practice, I can't do. When I was a young buck, I tried to. There was a lot of black guys. This is like the big thing in black thought in America. A lot of them work for the pragmatists underneath those Cornel West, who I don't know people know is one of the greatest interpreters of and practitioners and philosophers of pragmatism. One of the great books on this that you can read and understand is this book called The American Invasion of Philosophy. This has been a time I've never seen, but I'll see you soon another time. I'm pretty certain I'll give you my regards. We're friends again after the election. But anyway, this was like a black guy thing. I just wasn't smart enough to do it, so I'm the pragmatist.
What's that book called again?
The American Invasion of Philosophy. Came out in 1983. Let me check. It's a beautiful book. 1989? I didn't realize that late, but it's a genealogy of pragmatism. And it takes you through, the cover is a beautiful cover. It's a tree. It's a tree. It's got the names. It's corny. But it's got everybody. C. Wright Mills, Hook, Du Bois, Niebuhr, Trilling. I mean, it is truly a stunning text. That's why people, when they see West on TV, they don't understand that this man is one of the great intellectuals this country has ever produced. It is a beautiful book.
Yeah, the subtitle should be Fuck Immanuel Kant.
Yeah, and that's where people go too far. I used to do that. I separate in the tour. This is this Marxist. And you guys allow these Marxists and these materialists to get you out of idealism. You see, like, Hegel's an idealist, and Hegel is your daddy. You see, I don't want to go to the next because Brother Bessie might be here. I'm not sure.
I thought that your boy, Hegel, or is it Heidegger? That should. Heidegger is more.
There's a new translation that Yale University Press came out earlier this year, Big Time. I got the old breaking news. Oh no, this is bad news. And I hope this doesn't come to fruition. This is really bad news. The FBI has warned police departments that Iran may retaliate against the U.S. Oh, did you guys do this already? No. This is bad. The FBI has warned police departments, this is for you, Omar, that police departments, has warned police departments in California, that Iran may retaliate against the United States by launching drones aimed at inflicting damage on America's West Coast. Quote, we recently acquired information that as of early February 2026, Iran allegedly aspired to conduct a surprise attack using unmanned aerial vehicles from an unidentified vessel off the coast of the U.S. homeland, specifically against targets in California. In the event the U.S. conducted strikes against Iran, we have no additional information on the topic as the target or perpetrators of this alleged attack read an alert off the Bug Bureau at the end of last month, and the outset of the Trump administration on war in Iran.
How the drones can come to the West Coast?
Now, they said they had vehicles out in the ocean.
Iran has a huge embassy in Mexico, and the United States only expects, as an overpaid, I said, like 2% of cargo.
Yeah, it's not good. But anyway, there's a lot of statements 17th century because you can get some sucker there, but this is bad.
When I was young boy, I read Kant, and I don't understand shit, to be fair. It's very
kind of sit down and read either critiques or things. You can read essays in one sitting, but this you got to take it in chunks and build.
Yeah. And our philosophy teacher was more, so he does smoking weed and talking, so yeah. So that part is slow to me. But that for Hugo is very interesting. I know that he is considered like international law, blah blah blah, but they didn't know about slavery actually. So actually learned something today. Very interesting.
Grossius.
Grossius killed him.
Yeah. Yeah, because he couldn't. He didn't like how people were conflating law of nations with the laws of nature. Laws of nations with the laws of nature. And he thought laws of nature could stand on its own. And as I said, he made the distinction between human nature, nature of humankind, and those of animals. It's a good distinction. I can't remember if Locke did. I think Locke, maybe not. Although I think for Locke, the fundamental law, natural law, self-preservation. Isn't that the first law of nature for Locke? I think it is. I don't remember now. I can't remember some piece of Locke.
I mean, he said that life, liberty, and property, that is the natural rights.
Yeah, natural rights, the first law, the fundamental law. Yeah, he did. It's the preservation of mankind, self-preservation.
Yeah, and then he said there is a law for slavery and a law for slavery, something like that. That's interesting.
Yeah, they all have to. It's the thing that disrupts, or not disrupts, but subverts their organizing belief in the fundamental equality of humankind. You have to. And part of these laws, they have to have fundamental. From my understanding, for me, they have to have fundamental belief in the equality of humankind because that underwrites everything. It underwrites like contract theory, for example. It underwrites law of nations, for example. It underwrites trade, all the materialist things and anthropological and social things that people like Brother Messi and liberal care about because they're not ready to deal with the land of ideas yet. So it underwrites all of that.
This is the reversal of cause and effect. Textbook cause and effect reversal. Exactly how Locke did, right? Like just because you have a fancy theory, you can still draft the fundamental Constitution of Carolina. So where do all the fancy ideas go?
Well, I mean, race helps. Race helps. That's one answer.
That's my point. Like you can once you lock yourself into that. In the future Kantian cage, you can invent exceptions, and then it becomes about managing exceptions.
Well, remember that in the British case, they all fooled themselves that the enslaved were captives of war.
Yeah.
So this is what people believed. They didn't know otherwise, and so these enslaved would go to the west coast of Africa, and they purchase these enslaved persons who had been captives of war. Now, the abolitionists come along later and say there actually are no wars that pop off, or when they need to supply the enslaved with the enslaved. But the philosophy, I think is.
I mean, Locke had his invest in the slavery company, so I guess he needs to make that distinction of natural laws. I mean, he was doing that from his own preservation, I would say. He invested tons of money.
Well, it's couple Machiavellian real politics while trying to have contradictory idealist views in the realm of ideas disconnected from reality.
I need to give you a secret. Our friend Neil, he's a communist. All the Possarists like Dugin. So I'm just saying.
Dugin is an alienist.
And
still alive?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's no.
so,
Who killed his daughter? Putin?
Ukrainians probably, or maybe Putin, I don't know.
Oh, was she the one that was in the car?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I know. Okay. I remember this guy.
I mean, good riddance. She was like a fascist studying with Alain de Benoit in France, and
Oh my God, look what Black Mirror put in the chat. You gonna put my other room on with Black Freedom. Look what Black Freedom put in the chat. You gonna put my other room on.
my name is literally neoliberal shit.
It was literally wasn't signifying with that name. I don't know if you want to see Marxist 2026 living in this day before. That's not good. If you're like a Marxist and you're under the age of 70 in 2026, are you looking at your work? What's happening?
I'm neoliberal mostly because China is the leading neoliberal state in the world, and I support China.
Well, you're almost there because the leader of China told us earlier was Johnson.
Yeah.
Well, Ben, thanks again for keeping more piles of books on my TBR.
It never ends. That's going to be one of the worst. That's going to be one of the worst parts of death. That's the thing I'm looking forward to. One of the things I'm looking forward to least about being dead is not being able to read. That's the worst part. One of the worst parts about dying. I mean, there's so much to get to.
Maybe you'll just be able to read in the quantum field and have access to all this shit. It might be better.
That can be built. Yeah. I
You know.
was thinking about being reincarnated as a fiber optic. That seems kind of fun. You get one of those strings. Yeah, the light bulb. This one.
It's 80% porn. I don't know how to say
I think the worst people that nowadays are Iran.
No, it's frozen.
You think like, but they're around, but they're also it is.
I'm waiting
Neoliberals obsessed with
read Curious Mind on the right
I know that's true, Omar. That's what I was thinking. That would be true too. But Igor was obsessed with like the people out in California and people in Chicago. So he's obsessed with the trade. He said today, on his own, he was surveying the neoconservatives. So he is now like a blue sky Democrat. Was a blue sky Democrat.
Oh, Jesus.
You blue sky.
No.
Yes, you are.
I'm really opposed to it. It's like a part of it.
Oil got to $88. It came down a little bit. So it's slowly ticking up. I think the IEA release was baked in. And the stocks have all gone to the red. Not crazy. But this is not what you want as a daily pace. That's the problem. You don't want this to be daily. So hopefully they'll be able to pair that stuff off. And we can go back to the war. That was our philosophy for a minute. But we should read, we should do a room. I didn't want us to do it here. We should read like 2 paragraphs, like a day whenever we're here, maybe 3 paragraphs or something, and discuss it. Because like we're gonna you can take chunks of Hobbes. And the problem with Hobbes, I didn't figure this out until after grad school, is they only read Leviathan, but you have to read the other 2 because Thai ship that was headed to India. This was 10 minutes ago, breaking news. You guys it's already the Thai ship that was hit. Indian foreign minister, they call it external affairs, just released a statement. We've seen reports about the attack on the Thai ship. By the way, now in the streets of the ship was down from Kandla in India. Oof, it is a longer statement. So that was on India.
We should have read that. This is actually a good idea. Like 10-15 minutes a day.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Read it and discuss for 10-15 minutes.
Discuss philosophy for 10-15 minutes.
Just whatever that's, yes, just whatever that one concept was. So like,
I don't think you're capable of that.
I swear, if
That's too much of a constraint.
I can do it. I promise you. I know the house has a thing about contracts and reading contracts, and he talks about goodwill. We just talked about that goodwill for 15 minutes, and then just move on from the next.
But do you would you like say tomorrow we want to discuss XYZ so we can prepare, or you want to do it like a live time?
Oh yeah, I don't know what works better. If it works good, I think live time probably works. But I don't know. Probably a combination. People can read it beforehand and read it out loud. I don't know what works better. That's the thing about it. But the 15-minute constraint will be like, passing a kidney stone. Boy, that's just gonna be hard. I have passed a kidney stone before.
That's a good idea. But honestly, Dan, whatever you post, you want to read, we just do a lot of only a couple paragraphs. Post right now, we read all.
We could start with Pierre Noir's memoir. Have you read those?
I have not. I'm not as well read as you are, sir. But I don't mind the cue.
Are you familiar with Pierre Noir?
No, actually,
He was a Dutch. He was born a French thinker. In England, just Google. Here, I'll give you the name. Omar, just read it. KIRNOIR. Just Google that, and you'll see the major words pop up. Just Google it and tell us what you see. Because we can choose from those links.
I wonder if his Wikipedia page, or excuse me, from 1994.
KIRNOIR. Just go to, it's a philosopher in the 17th century. A student worked alongside Milton at Cambridge.
Here we go.
Did you get it?
Oh God.
You got it, Brother Igor?
No, I didn't Google. I know that.
Great thinker. Just
Great mind, man.
Great brain. One of the great brain killers. I mean, just very good. Did you find Brother Omar?
Yeah, it's something that I guess I need to study.
This was funny.
I said it to myself constantly. You say what? You say.
No, EMP, we're just being clubhousers. Some of us are in and out. What's for lunch? You could be having a burger.
Man, burger sounds good. It's so funny you said that. I like sushi doesn't eat like old mom and pops. We call them sushi restaurants. He's working on his job. Beautiful videos. Of course, the aesthetics are always 10 out of 10. In any case, he went to a place last night where the burgers. Well, I saw those last night. I saw him. And it was like Wagyu burgers. Oh God, they were like $30, $30 US. So yeah, that's the burger I want. That Wagyu smash burger for chicken.
Okay, you say you've been looking at artifacts with the Japanese from the 50s. I've been trying to find this paper, Max Jurgen, I think, for like weeks, and I can't fucking find it. This girl posted, it's in the Negro Digest July 1940 edition. It's called Japanese Propaganda Among Negroes. I've been trying to find this fucking paper.
One second. I got superpowers. One second. What was it published in?
The Negro Digest, July 1940.
Oh, 1940. Hold on. Let me go back.
Have you been to Japan, Brother Ben?
I have not yet. I will go. Have you been?
I've been all over Japan, brother.
Yeah, I look forward to it. Oh, is Dr. Library card here?
Why are you bragging, bro?
Yes, I'm here.
But thank you, Alan. You know, he's
I was just going to share your wow. Look, I wanted to share some experiences in Japan because it was very interesting. Brother Ben, they worship the black culture over here. It's fucking weird. The way that they worship American culture in general, but black culture specifically is wild. Very wild.
It makes perfect sense because the culture is all that in the bag of chips. Dr. Library card, I have found it. Almost done. What month was it?
July.
Oh, it's September.
July.
Yeah, I just don't want to have September. I've got some bad news for you. It's not digitized. I have it from 1961. However, I know where you can find it. You probably saw this already. But the Schomburg has it.
Okay.
And you can look at it through the microfilm.
Okay, no, I can do that.
It's not microfilm.
No, that's perfect. I'll be in New York soon enough.
Why was the girl posting?
She's I don't know if she's digitizing, but you know, I don't know, I was just on, it was on TikTok or Instagram. There's a whole thing, it's like Black Girls in Glam, it's a new thing they made up for. Glam is like galleries, libraries, archives, whatever. And she had posted the issue, that she was archiving. And I messaged the girl to try to see what archive she worked at so I could go see it in person, but she didn't respond. I believe it's supposed to be a
I have breaking news for you, Dr. Library. If I already said that.
yes, I'm sick.
I have found it in Max Jurgen's papers. It's actually 1939. May of 1939. It's called An Answer to Japanese Propaganda Among American Negroes. It is in box folder 206-5. Wait for it. At the Howard University Library.
Oh, I can go see it.
Yeah, you got it. It's at the Max Jurgen papers at Howard.
Thank you, Mr. Man. Maybe you're not Mr. Man.
I was over there. I was working at the Mustang Bar a couple weeks ago. But, you know, depending on where it's was published, if this is the one you're talking about, it was also published in something called China Today.
China Today. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't see how get it. I don't know if I can copy this. If you have interlibrary loan, you can get it. Whoever has that periodical will pull it and copy it for you. Let me know in 2 days if you can get it. I'll get it for you.
Okay, thank you. And for this group's chase because we all know history repeats itself. So I'm trying to figure out why these niggas are anime so much. So I can get to the stuff.
They got a funny culture over there. And whether or not they're not see the indigenous portion of Japan. But I did see Roppongi, Shibuya, Yokohama, Harajuku. There's a lot of the different downtown areas. So I'll tell you this, like they are a very sexual culture, believe it or not, but they're very sexual, and it is very normal for their husbands to seek sexual satisfaction elsewhere and then come home to dinner. That is a part of the culture. They have a series of massage parlors called Soapland, and Soapland is as popular as McDonald's is in the United States. They're a franchise, right? It's not one; it's a franchise everywhere. And you go there and they give you soap and massages and happy endings, and that's just part of their culture. Japanese.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They're very big on the African American culture. If you go to Harajuku is like a lot of fashion, and all of it is basically hip hop. You'll feel like you're in like downtown LA, or I don't know what they have that will be equated in buildings. The first one give you a baseline. Japan is super overpopulated. That's going to be your baseline. It's overpopulated as fuck, right? Like when you get on the trains, they have people whose job is to wear white gloves to push everybody in the train so that the doors can shut, like a trash compactor, right? I know that sounds right. That's very real. When you're walking downtown, you're going to be hit with sewage smells randomly. It's going to smell like somebody just shit under your nose a couple times as you move through the city. And that's due to the overpopulation. A lot of people on bikes, a lot of cabs. They're more advanced than we are as far as technology goes, like way more advanced. You'll see things over there that's not going to come off of here for years. That's just part of it. You'll see a lot of people touring out there. Couldn't probably fill up a small room in a major city here, but out there they will sell out. That's how heavy they follow our culture, right? If Coolio's alive, Coolio can go sell out right now, guaranteed. A lot of Africans, but the women out there do not prefer the Africans. They prefer the African Americans. I didn't know there was that many Africans out there dogs there. And you can literally look at their features and know, like, we don't look like them. They don't look like us. They have like broader nose, broader foreheads. It's a very clear distinction, right? A lot of the clubs, because of the overpopulation, that's why I was telling you about the overpopulated portion before I said this. A lot of the clubs are downtown and they're like on different floors, but they're amongst a bunch of other businesses. They just happen to be a club. So you might be going to a club on an 8th floor, and every other floor is a bunch of closed businesses because they don't operate after hours like a club would. So what would happen when I was going there is you would go maybe to a club on the 8th floor, and you would go in and the women were the black men, the African American black men, not Africans. And all the other floors was people fucking. Straight out. Because there's a weird trip. A lot of the Japanese were trying to look like us. They would have like dreads, they would have tan skin, or orange, if you want to be accurate. And they would do like all kinds of rap contests. But when you hear they couldn't rap. But it was interesting that they were really, I've never seen another culture embrace or try to emulate our culture on such a broad scale. Like they don't hide it. It's just a part of the experience out there. I will say that they're very respectful. You can lose your wallet on your train, and everything here.
How long was the flight, man? How long was that flight?
I was in Hawaii. I flew from Hawaii to Seoul, Korea, from Seoul, Korea to Narita. So I won't be good at that. That's every time I went, that's the path I took. So I don't really know. On the direct. It was a long flight though. I remember being long enough that it was yeah. Yeah, but I definitely would recommend the experience. They're so curious about us. It's weird. You know, like the younger generation will embrace you and really want to. The younger generation just wants to know everything about what we're doing and what our experience is, and then you'll see low riders, which is weird as shit. All kinds of things that you can just see, like someone's they're just entering our culture, and then the older ones still hold on to some of the older stereotypes. There's a few times when I got into an elevator, and the women and men in their clutched their purses, and looked like they were terrified, like maybe I just want to rob them. I'm not. They're smaller people. I'm not. So that played a role. But then there's with the younger culture, the women they're very aggressive in their approach. I tell you, you come to me like they're very like that, like very aggressive in their approach. So I think that if you go out there, whether rain or wind, you go out there, you're gonna have a lot of fun. Like you will be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I like all those things. I was able to.
You know what is interesting in Japan? Also, their prostitution is illegal, but it's illegal for anal sex. So they can for anal sex is legal. It's illegal.
Oh.
Yeah. Even though it's illegal, though it's super common. It's illegal, and when you go right there, and it's fine. I'm not saying from the legal standpoint, because I was writing some paper with work about humanity prostitution, so that's it. Long time ago, I was shocked. And they do that because of pregnancy and stuff like that. I forgot the hypervein on there. I was had research on that also. But
Japan is also the country that has zero filial piety. They don't really care for their elders the way the rest of us do. Is that true? The Alzheimer's patients, or the Alzheimer's parents in their 70s and 80s, they just walk out of the front door and nobody looks for them. So they end up,
that's because they live to 120 years old. They don't care.
It's funny, actually. I don't know
if they care for them, but they treat them well in public. Like I wasn't in anybody's home to see how they do in isolation. But in public, they're big on respect to their elders.
You never saw those stories in the headlines of above ground graves of 80, 90-year-old Japanese people in the middle of the forest because their children are search for them when they're lost.
No, that's
Alzheimer's patients. Let me be clear. I don't know if it's all the elderly in Japan.
that's sad. I don't understand how we ended up on that. That was a very weird.
Hey. I don't care how you get there. You never asked.
Brother, man, you want to know something else that was weird that you've never seen in the United States? And this is also due to the overpopulation. Like when you're walking, like let's say Shibuya, you're walking around Shibuya because they have a lot of clubs downtown, a lot of interesting things going on, bars and stuff like that. And you're waiting, and there's a stoplight, so all four corners are stopped. Nobody can cross the street, we're waiting for the traffic, and the traffic is fast and furious. What's happening? And then finally, the light stops. The intersection floods. So now crosswalks. You understand what I'm saying?
treated the Africans so different than African Americans. Like they were disgusted by the Africans and didn't treat by the African Americans. It's very weird.
You ever notice how beef jerky is always a good idea in your mind?
No, it's never a good idea. What are you talking about?
Beef jerky, pure protein snack, low fat, tasty.
On paper, but when you look at plastic meat.
Yeah, I got a pretty good one, but it's not good.
Have you tried the chicken ones?
You want me to send you the Buc-ee's? You won't be sorry.
Send me some, because I got some I got to tell you about that.
I got a half pound of those back from my friend. Don't tell me. You got a P.O. box?
Pause. Don't ask me what my P.O. box is.
Why would you
It's
want
not good.
Why would you ever think dried meat, freeze dried
Because
meat?
it's no fat.
Good.
No fat. For pure protein and no carbohydrates, They snack after, 5 cups of coffee and some plantain chips.
That's on paper, but you've seen it and you know what it looks like. You know the texture.
It's gross.
You gotta try the buffalo chicken one.
You're right, Black Nigerians are definitely scammers there, but they're also, I will say, most of the clubs I went to were owned by the Africans, though. So they're very entrepreneurial out there.
That's every city in America. And the world.
A lot of the clothing stores, a lot of the clubs, those were owned by the Africans for sure.
Nigerians can party. All the promoters in DC are Nigerian now.
Nigeria, that's like my favorite accent to do.
I don't believe it sounds good.
Yeah, I don't believe it at all.
Okay. First Amendment right. When did you?
Period.
Definitely, I agree with you. We just don't believe you. I'm sorry, bro.
I know. I like that for you.
I love it for you personally. So yeah.
But I want to tell you something, okay? I want to talk to you and your father.
I know.
That was ass.
Yo, your ass, what the hell was ass cheeks? But I will say, even with other bands, just faking accent, which is fucking horrible. It's better to tell you something.
I'm not killed. I want a great accent. A great accent for someone who is spiritual to the people.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
Listen, guys, I'm out of time, guys, okay? Single file line, please. We have extra need as pause. No, don't pause that. No, I said, what are you talking about? Oh, wait, is this Danny? Wait, is this somebody? Wait, Danny has a account? Yes. Nah, there's no fucking, no, you're not that. What the what the fuck are you talking about? You sound like a Green Collins version of that. You sound like the Walgreens version of that. Wow.
Right, you need to take any pill.
Yo, doctor, you need to sit this one out. You're not a real doctor, huh?
You're not easy.
Nah.
He has Dominican with pain on jeans. That's why he can't.
Oh, you yeah, you wish you was the most hated. I couldn't understand you. Your tongue needs to go away. You got so many listeners. Guys, come on, man. Guys, come on.
I can tell you this, why the best looking Dominican women come to the States.
Nah, that's not true.
That's true.
Well, I already ran into them already, so I'm also, I did Colombians. Now I'm steady with Puerto Rican. I don't think I'm going to give up. You can have my Dominicans. You're talking about having my fun. In the way that you just... Brother, I told you what it is, and that affected your soul. Please sit with that. No, you're not. Did you hear yourself? No, but you waited like 5 minutes to rebuttal that. I mean, it's funny. I'm not here to fight with you. Alright? I love all of you. I'm sorry?
trying to make an analogy physically that he has big shoes to fill. You know?
Oh, that's pretty good. It was a good conversation. Conversation started. Yo, why your shoes don't fit? I was just big shoes to fill. I like that.
Well, you know, what's her name, Alina Habib is so she is newly divorced, and maybe he wants her to see his shoe size.
This was not helping.
Right, it's going to indicate the opposite, really.
Yeah.
So, man, when you was talking about Dominicans and Colombians, have you only done this hemisphere, or have you tried going in other hemispheres?
You know, I'm not a man for it, but I'm pretty well versed. Not like I have hundreds of bodies or 100 bodies, but yeah, I've had a little taste here and there, like any other guy, right? Am I right? The one that surprised me was Cuban. When I went to Cuba during the Obama administration, shout out to Obama for that. That was actually a good time. But yeah,
Some of these stories of the men getting drugged and robbed,
oh yeah,
unalived, and like,
In Cuba?
yeah,
and in New York.
and in the DR, especially Cuba. The DR, you're more likely to get an STD.
Yeah, I was about to say HIV. So go there with your partner. Prostitution is whack. Do not pick a pussy. You are. That's low enough. Don't travel. Yeah, why do guys do that? Who here participates in prostitution? I'm not gonna judge you. I'm asking you. What's going on? What's up?
It was pro-prostitution. Please explain it to us. I like to know too.
Word. Please explain how transactional sex, where they tell you where you can touch them, when you can touch them, when you can spank them. How's that? How's that like?
How do you know that they tell you when you can see?
Oh, you haven't seen like the Vice documentaries and shit on YouTube? Oh my god. Just terrible, bro. See, I like affection. I need to be caressed. I need to be held. Big spoon, little spoon. Sometimes I like big spoon. Sometimes I like little spoon.
You like to be a little spoon.
I like to be the. I like to want my girl to be like sometimes. You know, you lay down like, you know, it's comforting.
All your hits, you like to.
Yeah, y'all can deserve it. Yeah. It's okay. Come on. I'm not saying you guys here. But this is and I'm vulnerable. It's okay to be vulnerable.
Gemini, do we need to move them down?
No,
He's comparing his ball size to the middle.
cojones, yeah, it's cojones, you know. It's okay to be vulnerable and have cojones. It's alright, guys.
But you're talking about being a little spoon and being paid.
Yeah, something, nah, hell no. Watch your mouth, first of all. I don't care how big you are. I don't care how big you are.
You responded on the first time you said that.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you. See, oh, stop.
That's a fact.
Stop bothering. It don't matter. I'll go to lunch right now. No boo. Like, come on, hurry up. This shit funny. Do me a favor. People just be getting mad and spitting.
So, hold on. So, it takes
Wait.
I'm
doing that. LA.
It takes us moving you down for you to get lunch.
Bro, what I'm saying is that I
attention to me, ignore me. Yo, like, when is the last time y'all grown people actually got into a fight? People be talking about fighting all the time. Like, who's fighting? Who wants to? I don't really, like, I box Tuesdays and Thursdays. Did that count? Yeah, like, we don't box in the back. No, we sport. Oh, okay. We sport. Yeah. We go half speed, like, we're not going all out, you know what I mean? We're training. I actually prefer boxing. That's funny because, you know, in LA, you ever want to, you know what I'm saying, spar, like, hey man, we got the gym right here on Church Street, like, I can't fight, bro. Oh shit, you sure? My bad, allegedly. Yeah, I want problems. Hey, and I'm sure this already happened, man. Like, so, take that for what it's worth. But did you guys talk about the FBI warning about Iran talking about attacking California with drones and retaliation? Or no? Somebody made it, they don't get really talking about it. They take the drones to Cali? Can they do that? Yeah, apparently. What did you say, Matt?
Yeah, they wouldn't be launching from Iran. They would have ships. Or sure, they have a consulate in Mexico. They could be in Mexico.
Got it, okay.
Or, excuse me, Mexico.
Well, I mean, that is like their last desperation button, though, right? Because once you hit us stateside, you know what our reaction's gonna be.
Yeah, my concern is more the initial attack. By the time you guys are reacting, who cares? It depends on who gets impacted. And, you know, people can die in California. That's what they did. But it's not like Trump said, that's a sacrifice he's willing to make.
Did he say that?
Yeah, you said it.
And not about this specific event, but you know, yeah, they make that
No.
jump.
He said it about attacks on home, and he said, yeah, it could happen, I guess. That's literally what he said. You were right, Jim, not the first time. That's what he said.
Yeah.
About getting attacked on the homeland. He said, I guess, yeah, it could happen. He said,
It's more people die. He also said that, you know. The 6 times draft dodgers willing to make sacrifices. That's why there's been a big movement online where they're telling them to send the parents. You know, this parent. Let's think about it. It's so dumb. That nigga like 7 feet tall. Headshot, God forbid. There's tall people in the military. What are we doing? There's no fight.
You do not want Barron to go because that would put him on the road to a political career. You do not want.
Oh, so you don't want that for Barron? You don't want intercept some form of communication that was supposed to ignite these sleeper cells in the United States and stop it. But to me, even if they didn't get a direct message, aren't you relaying the message indirectly by making that statement? Because at that point, you would know that they were attempting to communicate and activate the sleeper cell. So if I'm a sleeper cell, I hear that. I better reach out to my handlers and find out what's going on. What got intercepted. I thought that was kind of weird to put that out there.
Yeah, I think if we did take out the whole regime, I wouldn't go on a plane for that.
Yo, has anybody ever spoke to Coin? Does anybody know who that is? Coin? Coin's a good dude, very solid dude. Is he a keyboard warrior? Because I've never seen him on stage. You know, have I seen him at his really already? know they're not. I'm talking to a gay man by the name of Hurricane.
Come in. So you only use it when talking about gay male sex.
When referring to Hurricane as a heterosexual, he is a gay man. I get it. I have to speak to his language, you understand? When in Rome, right? That quality is trash.
Versatile, which means I can take it and I
Versatile.
yes, exactly. And so she used the word versatile with the which looked at the dictionary.
Oh, I knew that. I know it.
She knows what I can do and take it. She just wants to make sure.
Why is he going for
whatever it is I have to do? That's what it is.
You know, Hurricane, he did say he likes being stoned, just FYI.
Yeah.
He's like another also wrong. It's a honor. It's an honor for me. Because I feel like I'm Thanos right now. You got the Power Rangers, like, you know what I'm saying? I got a symbol like the Avengers. I love this. This is where I am naturally. This is me in real life. You guys love talking about Lil Trump. And I love that for you. Lil Trump, yeah, hold on for a second. I'm going to hold the room because maybe it's just me. You know how that's going to come on. Come on, man. It's 2026, you know? Hold up, brother. You're just going to talk about tactics. This is psychological warfare, gentlemen. I wasn't even speaking to them. I was speaking to the room. So, okay, thank you. So, do you guys find it normal? Put a 1 in the chat if you find it normal for a man to confess how he likes to be a little spoon. Put a 2 if that is something that doesn't resonate with you or something that you don't normally hear from a heterosexual man.
I love it. Bro. You're welcome.
Mind you, these are all people who they can't be.
The most egregious thing.
I love it here. This is where you belong. This is where you get to be somebody. And I'm here to support it.
That's fair. You know, I'm down for Lil Trump. We provided some entertainment. Can we move to the news now?
I told you, brother, man. I started talking about the drones and we ended up back here. So.
I'm going to ask Lil Trump. Would you mind to move on for?
I would love that because I feel like I was taken away from the actual real, you know what I mean? Like, let's get to it. To be in potatoes.
Okay. Y'all go to the news now. I'm done. Some of
And then, did you see the CENTCOM came out about the early reports on the Iranian school?
devastating, Lamar.
You saw the reports of the tomahawk that were found now?
Yeah. And what did they find, man? They found they used outdated logistical information. You were correct. Patty owes you an apology.
They explained me, man. They explained me. Give me context. What was the original dispute?
The brother Omar had said, he's a Democrat now, so he's smart again.
Oh, he's back. So he came back. Okay, well, been crazy. Can we trust somebody that flip-flops like a fish out of water?
Yes, you just take it how you get it. It's like pussy. So anyway, he said,
What you never trust the pussy with?
See, Haitians done with lunch. I'll never forget that when his apathetic guys came to do on here. We decided to getting lunch and getting ass in the middle of the day. He got ass in the middle of the day.
Well, you can eat that as well. We should be technically. And there's less calories.
So it's true. And I only had time for all that. He didn't go back to work. But anyway, so Omar said that he's an outdated and Patty mocked him. So now she owes an apology and a kiss.
So it was the outdated math that led to them mistakenly bombing this school.
Yes, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. It hurts your heart.
That's super sad. That's super sad, man. Trump still won't admit it, though. I'll guarantee you that. Did he find school is very bad, but a lot of the time we don't care about the civilian deaths if we get our targets for the most part. Like when they invaded Panama, there was some rebel radio stations that were embedded into like tall buildings, right? That were housing buildings, and they were just operating out of there. They locked the missiles onto the signal and hit the whole fucking building for a radio station. You understand what I'm saying? Like that is very traditionally how we operate. We just don't have it. It wasn't put on the news. It wasn't on the news, so there wasn't a public outrage at that point. But if you were to start tracing the way we've been operating, we try out new weapons all the time. Like when we're there, we just try out new shit just to do it. We're evading people. And a lot of times it's civilians. We don't fucking care about that shit if it's accomplished. I'm just saying, bro.
Well, you know what? You shouldn't blame China though, because their HQ-9B failed on February 28th. So nobody wants to talk about that. I think they did, and nobody wants to talk about that. Like, we all talk about our shortcomings, but come on, guys. Their stuff is made in China, like, you know? And they failed. And then India started reporting, like, oh, they failed, like, you know, like, and it started circulating. I'm sure every time, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, so I'm going to provide, because usually I'm not a prime. Stay on the topic, y'all. Stay on the topic.
Let's get back to the topic.
Oh,
I'm not saying that to minimize the tragedy that happened because it's super fucking sad, right? Like anytime that children die, I'm a father, bro. Like I don't want to see any children die ever, right? So I feel bad for the families that lost a child due to a miscalculation, but it's just not as isolated or random as you guys think. It happens a lot. It really does. It's not as highlighted, but it happens a lot.
Look, I'm saying here, the stuff you're saying, I think the stuff you're saying is intentional. This was unintentional because they used.
No, it's definitely unintentional.
Like their info.
I got it. It's not agree with that.
Hey, man, they used maps in between 2013 and 2016. Yes, it's crazy, bro. I actually, I have no context in the military, but I'm starting to believe that the US's approach to Iran was all bluster and propaganda, and they're using maps that are over 10 years old. That doesn't make me think they really was preparing for this. And this goes to Concrete's point earlier as well. These great intelligence agencies, they should have known this. Something's off, you know.
But how were they able to kill so many members of leadership at the same time?
Oh, they were like, well, I mean,
Yeah, a lot of that was Israeli. A lot of that was real Israeli intelligence too.
they had some spies and stuff. That would make sense to me. But the school one, see, now I gotta get my conspiracy theory. I'm not convinced it was 100% by accident. I'll leave it there.
What would be the benefit? Okay, let's rank that and say that's a possibility, right? What would be the upside? Where's the win?
Well, first of all, they was trying to blame it on Iran first, and people
First, retarded.
anti-regime. Well, the anti-regime people saying they did it, so it's part of propaganda. But I don't know. What's the point of Israel blowing up all the oil depots? They want to kill people.
But all these folks are being defeat their resources, right? To make it so that they can't use that oil, right? To hurt on them. That's their number one export. That makes sense to me. But hitting the
But they want the people to take over the country when it's done. They don't have any money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's kind of productive in that. Like, I understand that aspect. I guess.
Yeah, so, man, what's your overall theory on why Trump is doing any of this in the first place at all?
More brown. And no, seriously, he's a really bad guy. He's in his 80s. He grew up in the Cold War. These are the last enemies. And I really think it's Boomer Brain. And he's not good. He's president. He can exert his power. I don't think he has the air, right? Okay, cool, right? I do believe all mistakes are preventable. All accidents are preventable. But to not confess to it and own up to it, that's heartbreaking, you know?
just unpredictable. There's no algorithm for them.
I get it, but I think all accidents are preventable.
I'm gonna say like for the most part, like we download like all of our maps from NGA at least like once a week. I don't think I'm not gonna confirm or deny anything that Dan said, but like I don't know, that it's just piss poor planning. And if it's a mistake, that is shitty fucking planning.
So they said the fundamentals are 6 P's, bro.
Yeah, they had a fucking fundamental. And my conspiracy theory is that like they're doing a lot of blaming on AI and shit like that. Like we've been using, I think like I heard like a week ago about like Palantir like being to blame for some shit. And it's like, bro, we've been using Palantir since 2015, 2014. Like we never had any issues. And mind you, like all of the maps are downloaded from NGA. So like it's all satellite imagery. So if they using like old maps, that's it's a little bit.
Bro, you wouldn't even use a old map or fucking land map course.
Yeah, it's almost like they're like following like the Bush playbook, but like they thought it was easy, but they don't know how to be crooked. And as crooked as Bush, you know what I mean? Because like I don't know if you remember Nation, like you know, from OIF 1 to OIF 2, it was probably a fucking like within six months to a year, we already had a fucking green beans and a Cinnabon in Southwest Baghdad. So it's like so Dick Cheney had KBR out there quick as hell. So I don't think they know how to be as crooked as the Bush administration. I think they're dumb as fuck. They're terrible at planning.
We talked about today what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz. How they said Russia is now giving Iran specific advice on drone attacks, and that 3 vessels will get by projectiles today, and that there's countries that have agreed to release a record 400 million barrels of oil in an effort to stem prices as the crucial trade remains effective and closed. Then they also released video of U.S. strikes on Iranian vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. So to slide that in there.
Yeah, man, they what was it? Hold on, I just had it.
presidency, knowing his second presidency, or how will he be depicted? What do you think they'll say?
I think that the war is undermining the best aspect of his legacy, which was moving the Republican Party, and by extension, large parts of the country, out of the warmongering. Like the MAGA critique of neoconservatives was spot on. It was laden with, but it was a spot on critique, and he's completely undone that. And he don't even seem to be, how can I put it, like, he don't even really seem to be into it, if that makes sense. Like, he talks about it, it's kind of like, I ain't really into it. When you're doing the bidding of other foreign nations, I'll leave it to y'all know how to.
When you be Israel's best, go ahead.
I mean, that's it. I'm just saying, it's like you're not really into it. You're just doing what other people tell you to do. Unless you really got to be into it. You don't really seem to be into it. I listen to Pete X, and he don't even seem to be into it. Outside of when he talks about religion, when he gets to that God stuff, that's when he seems to get a little hype. But outside of that,
Man, like I said, looking for his next drink, man. Every time I say it, I really get out there down, man.
you got to. People always like you ready for a bar. I feel like you could go worry all in DC with just like locals. Nobody knows you. You just go in there. At the end of the bar, you the defense secretary, the only person who knows he's in there is the bartender. You gotta understand. I just know he has to go drink by himself. He can't do it in the office because people see it. But some little, dive bar somewhere over in Northeast, he just gets in his own car, nobody knows where he's going. He end up at the bar, just put a shot and a beer. Just have 3 of those, go back to work.
But in my head, he goes to the bar and they greet him like they greet Norm from Cheers.
Oh shit.
That's what happens in my head.
Lord.
But y'all don't think that he kind of telegraphed the issue that we're having now? Like, you wanted a parade where you could, put your military vest out. He focuses so much on the military, like they're a toy. He renamed the Department of Defense. Like, you put all of this stuff out here, so of course people are gonna, like your buddy from Israel is gonna say, all right, well, you're bragging about it, let's put it to work. Like, I feel like they got fired to us, but they did it to themselves. Talk about the stuff that you have and what you can do with it, and don't be surprised when people are like, okay, show me.
That's a very good point. Yeah, that's a very valid point. He wants to showcase him every chance he gets. And now they're being utilized on him. And he's utilizing them locally more than the previous presidents have recently. Right? Deploying the National Guard here, Marines there, on our soil. Now they got him active outside of our soil. So it's like, that they have been his toy in every aspect, domestically and internationally at this point.
Breaking news. Iran announces their requirements for potential ceasefire with the United States and Israel. Requirements include recognizing Iran's legitimate rights. Iran receives a payment of reparations. Firm international guarantees against future aggression.
Reparations for what, though?
For all the shit that they blew up.
So now we gotta pay for the oil that got burned? Fuck you.
Well, Trump got it. He's been gripping since the first term. He got it.
But this is weird though, because their last statement prior to this was the war's not over till we say it's over. Now they're trying to make a proposal that could end it. So I'm starting to think that they're in a very, very, very compromised position at this point.
They are, definitely are.
The Zora
meeting, brother. I'm happy to hear for sure. Good. I'm like, we need this shit tomorrow. Like, okay, amazing. Yes, that would be great. Now watch the now the indulgence is gonna lose their mind. They need reparations. See, now they fucking with us. And Ron, trust me, they watching all the FBAs and indulgences. I'm telling you.
And I put subtitles in and Farsi pop right up. I was like, what is that?
Rodney said something in the chat that deserves to get airtime on stage. He said, if Iran gets reparations before my black ass, I'm calling out a order.
Or I don't put in the chat on the White House.
In a similar fashion that Iran, let the Negroes and some of the women down. Although there was a Negro who didn't get released. He said it the whole time, but that's because they thought it was a CIA agent. Maybe this is the path for the Negro to get his reparations. I think.
I was thinking about it.
I never liked being called the Negro. I never liked that.
Oh, God. You're going to close the news?
What'd you say for the blacks?
Yes.
Actually, this is a great idea. I mean, it's how we get our reparations.
What's an online? What are you doing?
On there to make sure I'll get reparations. I'll get reparations, man. I'm not going to get it.
No, just close the Strait of Hormuz. That's all. Just close it. It's only some of y'all granddaddies got fishing boats, and some of y'all
So do we add our expenses? Do we add our expenses to their expenses? How does that work? Like,
I think we close it ourselves. We close it ourselves.
I meant like,
No, we're gonna close it ourselves. We don't want to go through it. We're gonna close it ourselves.
Listen, the former leader of the brother who just, I guess, not this, but the one before him. Yeah, he was black. I don't know. I think this is a setup for us. And bro, this might be a play, man. I'm telling you.
Pretty good.
Damn, the other thing I would do
He said reparations. Now you know niggas gonna get that.
niggas.
We gonna get that.
Next thing Negroes are finding a way.
look, is it trending on X yet? How long is it?
I was about to say, the next thing you know, people will be talking about how they got Iranians in their family, just like they did. It's like,
I put eyeballs in the chat. This is the play. Oh my God, hold on. A congressman just said that the person that accused Donald Trump in those Epstein files had gotten a settlement from Jeffrey Epstein's estate. Shit. Did y'all see that?
I did.
This lady got paid.
Oh shit.
The fuck?
And don't forget that they just this was like within the last week they uncovered the fact that there were 3 additional interviews that were conducted with this person, not just the one interview that was unsealed and conducted a day before Epstein unalived himself. So they had extensive conversation and documentation from this person. They know the story very fucking well. And yes, there was a settlement.
Oh shit. He said this one might be the only. He says, quote, we can't get into the details of everything that was said. But one of the things that we did know is there was another head of state that was mentioned as having financial transactions with Jeffrey Epstein, not an American one. And then another person who was an accuser of Donald Trump was given a settlement of Jeffrey Epstein's estate. We did confirm that.
That means there has to be some validity there. You're not settling for no fucking reason, bro.
What's going on?
Wait, so we don't
letting you know what I just want to make sure that I'm clear. Okay, so somebody accused Trump, and that person also got a settlement from
Epstein. Yes.
So, okay.
And that same person was interviewed 4 times by the FBI. Only one of them were initially disclosed during the Epstein files initial release. They said they made a mistake and didn't realize that the other 3 weren't duplicate interviews, but actually individual separate interviews that were conducted with the same person, which we don't believe. And they released that only like 2 days after we started bombing Iran, so they had to fly under the radar, right? That's when they released that information.
So they've been redacting like a motherfucker.
Like motherfucker, exactly.
But they didn't realize the deep part, like, for the interview. Okay, got it.
Yeah, they said that was the DOJ's excuses. We thought they were all duplicate, but we didn't realize they were separate. Yeah.
But they could have did like a word search. They're different. Okay, got it.
We're talking about the FBI. You don't think they know about separate interviews? The FBI.
There's some things in the world of AI that you just can't lie about anymore. Like, students can't lie that they pretended like they attached the PDF to the email when they know that they didn't. They attached the word to the email. When every mail generator is gonna let them know, hey, you said you were gonna attach something to this email, but there's nothing there. Like, you just can't pretend like you can't search for words and you can't look up things quickly. You're redacting everything, but you thought it was the same thing. Okay.
Right.
You thought it was the same thing, but you didn't look. Okay.
Oops, there's 3 more, my bad.
Yeah, that's wild.
And the crazy part about this, brother, and this is the tinfoil hat part, so I'll give that disclaimer before I say it, but the is the initial one that was disclosed that they claimed the rest were a duplicate of initial, but they weren't, right? Epstein died within 24 hours, so that would be logged in the record.
Listen, I'm not prone to give into conspiracy theories. But there's certain instances I'm like, okay, let's explore a little bit more. There's something going on. That man definitely needed to die. For a lot of folks, I believe that it's a hard coincidence for me to believe that he didn't have it. So I'm sorry.
Hold up, but I will say it was in August, I think, of 2019. They logged it in. I think it's like August 23rd, August something of 2019. They logged it in, and within 24 hours, Epstein was dead. First one that was logged in that said Trump did this to me via a FBI interview. That part is not conspiracy theory. That's all hard, fast facts.
What about the lies about the 13-year-old girl that got exposed 2 days ago?
Now, you guys were
Talking to me, kicking me out.
13-year-old girl accused Trump.
And it was, are you talking 420?
The one where all of her
Charges came up. And, yeah, she was involved in fraud. And it got disproven. But you guys were throwing that shit at me, bro. Are you talking about a conversation you had before 420?
Not 420? I don't remember.
Different room, brother. Yeah.
I have no idea what he's talking about. Do y'all?
Oh, you don't know Gemini?
Oh, okay. It's cute. No, I don't. If I did, I would tell you I don't. I live in the room.
Got it. Typical. Yeah, much the same, maybe, because I only 3 hours and 18 seconds.
Yes.
So it wasn't in your blood.
Too short? Yeah, you gotta get your offensive shots in.
Yeah, man, what's going on?
First lady, are you there?
Did you put it in the chair now?
That's crazy.
What's going on?
for the update.
No problem.
Have you had a moment in your life, you know, you know,
have we talked about Brad Bondi, brother of Phil Bondi, who's getting scrutiny because they're suing he's an attorney as well, and that a lot of his cases that involve the Justice Department are getting favoritism. So they're doing an investigation on that to see if there's actually something provable. Have we talked about that or no?
Never heard of it.
I didn't know Brad Bondi existed. They said we are concerned that the DOJ officials, including the Attorney General, may have failed to ensure the independence of internal accountability mechanisms. Basically, they're saying she has influence over his cases and his government.
Wait, who came out with that assessment? Sorry, I missed that part.
Let me see who the accusers are. The Democrats, two congressional Democrats are calling the Justice Department's internal watchdog to launch a probe into what they characterize as, quote, a troubling pattern of favorable outcomes for clients who hired the defense attorney Brad Bondi, the brother of Attorney General Pam Bondi, for representation in cases involving the Justice Department.
Let me tell you something. If the Democrats take over the House, I also said, if they take over the House, a lot of these motherfuckers are going to leave. Because they're going to be in trouble.
I think they need to do a lot more of this calling now. There's been a whole lot of scam adjacent, hustle type shit going on with this administration, but it seems to just fly under the radar. I mean, it doesn't seem like many Democrats are like highlighting the fuckery that they're doing on right now. Like, it's just grift central on with this Epstein administration, in my opinion, anyway.
I don't think it, but I think there's going to be a wild sort of, let's get the fuck out of here moment. Because these folks need to be, at the very least, investigated, and hopefully something impeached, or at least articles of impeachment. It's being drafted.
I'm looking further into this. They said one of the cases, Brad Bondi was able to get federal prosecutors to treat against Caroline Amnesty, a former Florida state leader who faced 2 counts of theft of government property related to COVID relief funds. So he's getting outcomes, getting it done, but
Straightforward. Oh, I'm sorry.
she's highlighted my alarm going off in her eye.
She got lunch and keep it. Okay.
And yourself first, like, how you thought?
You looked out for me, so I just want to make sure you know.
Thank you. But I didn't come off mic and say, hey, brother, off mic, you know.
Well, I don't have the power to.
You can't do the young money, you can't be a bright.
See, even the that's okay.
Shut up. I'm glad I did say no. Because Chef is so sad.
What's the truth, though? I mean, the truth.
Wow. I just got it. Why would you want to inform me?
That's literally the reason why. You know, so I took right into news after that. We followed right into news. That was
I mean, but it's Andy's fault. He wants like a nice sized woman to keep him warm.
Yeah, he needs a big bitch.
Man, that's too far. what is it? Meow now?
Oh, well, I'm gonna call you Meow. I'm gonna call Meow.
Meow, why are you calling you about to fight with people?
Lisa, do you think it's me or the 20 people that fixate on me?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I was crazy. I caused that, you feel me? And I learned to be, I'm that guy. Like, it is what it is. I draw a lot of attention.
Okay.
I can't even, like, half of the, that's making it very sensitive because that's like when Infinity saying people is focused on me. You antagonize people. I mean, I can't help it. You can't just prove it. We have a job here to prove it. Like, so thank you.
So, please.
I don't even have to say a word. Like, every time I come in here, y'all know what time it is. You know, the bullshit. We right. We know you're trying to do bullshit. Gemini, look at me. Every single person is talking.
But here's the thing, Meow.
I'm not here. I'm about y'all. I'm about me.
Meow, listen. You just called me Lisa. I'm not Lisa.
Oh, first thing, I'm sorry. He's delusional. I don't know.
One second. You only know Lisa. Okay, got it.
Guys,
It's okay.
you guys gotta realize, you gotta focus on me, and that's fine. Like, I'm used to that attention. You know what I mean? Like,
We know why whatever. Let me ask you this. Do you have a digital footprint outside of Clubhouse?
everybody does. If you ever own a smartphone, if you have a
Something
I
tangible,
don't
something.
use,
What platform do you have more than 2,000 subscribers on? Just name one.
I'm not an entertainer.
That's not the first I thought. So you come in here just
So wait, that's talking to you? Like, I can show you 10,000 dollars.
that can go outside and get a lot more attention on the
I don't do the subscribers.
I don't think everybody know what else to get attention from. That's the difference.
Now, when you said what?
There's a lot of big people that can go to other platforms and get 10 times the attention if they chose to, but they like to come here.
Well, once a time, I'm just coming here to talk about politics. You got me on my dick. That's not my fault.
Let me finish. We chose to come here because we can learn, build, hear information, set a sense of community. Right? That's what it is. I don't think it's
That's what I come here for, but it's not my fault. I can't control it.
Let me finish. So I actually listen more than I talk in this room. I like to learn. Right? I'm a student in life at all times. You come in here to center yourself, right, and to antagonize others.
No, I know. You said that.
I didn't interrupt you. And when you garner the attention you're looking for by antagonizing others, you then take it as if everybody's looking at me. All eyes on you. You
Yes, stop. All of you guys are
appreciate why you're antagonizing them until they
just exist. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't make any sense. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, nobody forgot, but you guys make it that, so I'm not gonna like argue with you. I'm gonna just troll you because at that point, like, you're not controlling me. I'm gonna troll you because you think you're gonna make me feel away. No, I'm gonna troll you because you have episodes. So I'm gonna just laugh at it, and then you guys get mad when you can't get to me, and then you kick me, you go me, you do all these things. That shows you who really is who.